without a doubt, I can say that coming here to China has been the biggest culture shock that I have had in at least a decade. Arriving here in Guangzhou in the southern part of China has definitely been interesting. Like overall, in a good way, I feel like it is much more modern than I was even expecting. Like I knew China has had a lot of changes in the last couple of decades. They have been building so much. They have technology that we don't have. But to actually come here and experience it for yourself, it has been an experience. And because Guangzhou is such a big city, there is no way for me to fully, show you guys the whole city in the less than a week time that I'm going to be here, but I will try my best to show you some of the highlights. So let's actually begin with where we are right now, which is Tianhe, and this is the new business district of the city and also the area that I am staying in. If you guys see this skyscraper straight in front of you, there is a little hotel on the 7th floor called Timmy Hotel. Would highly recommend, because in this district hotels tend to be quite expensive, understandably, and this hotel has been absolutely lovely. $40-50 US a night, very small room, but for this district is actually a great deal. Having access to so many different things like the bus transport here, there's a metro station just down there, and it's very walkable. There's a lot of different malls, shops, restaurants, everything that you need you can really find here. Unfortunately, it hasn't been the best weather while I have been here. It's been a bit rainy and overcast. The first day I got here was actually absolute perfection with like clear skies and much warmer weather, but as you can see, it is a little bit chilly, and I hope that it's not going to rain today. But that will not deter our adventures, and I want to show you guys as much as possible, starting with getting a local breakfast of congee. I don't think I have eaten it before. Like, I'm trying to think in all of my travels, where else would I have tried congee before, and I don't think I have had it, so let's go try some. Alright guys, after some searching, I thought it'd actually be easier to find congee, but I found some here at the dim sum place. I'll have to use my translator to figure out what's in each, but it's more or less a savory porridge type of dish. It has arrived, friends. Take a look at the congee. A huge bowl of it, by the way. I got the salted pork and vegetable flavor. There was also one that said raw beef. Not sure how I feel about that. And also a fish one. So the pork one I think will be best. So congee is actually supposed to be a very beneficial health dish because the way that they cook the rice in the water for such a long period of time, it breaks down the starch. It's easier to digest, has a lot of nutrients, so in a way a really good food to start your day. So let's try this. Interesting. It does almost feel like a very, it almost reminds me of soup, like a really thick creamed soup, but obviously it has a strong rice base. you know, I'll be honest with you, it's not the type of thing that I would have every morning, but it is like good. Like, it is a good dish. Especially if it was winter out and like super cold. This is like warm and hearty. Would really get you ready for the day. By the way, the ladies that work here are so sweet. They brought me a free hawthorn juice, which I have had before actually in the last days that I was here. It's like a very sweet, syrupy sort of juice. Super tasty. If I haven't stated it enough yet, I really urge you guys to make sure you download Alipay before you come to China and link your credit card with it, because what's super cool is, I mean, this helps you pay for everything. It also has a lot of different like tutorials for foreigners of how things work, but this is where you can also pay for public transport. I have to kind of cover my QR code for safety reasons, but basically you can just like scan your QR code when you go into the subway and then also when you go out of the subway, and it automatically calculates your fare. So as you can see, you just scan it and you can go through. Super easy. We have arrived, friends. This is the Chen clan Ancestral Hall, which is one of the most beautiful temples in Guangdong province for the form of traditional architecture that you see here. It was initially built by the Chen family, which was a very affluent and also studious, I guess, family, because they did build this as an academic temple. Basically, you would go here to honor your ancestors as well as to study hard. Now it has also been turned into the Guangdong Folk Art Museum, so I'm excited to check it out. Absolutely stunning and much bigger than I was expecting. There was like so many different halls with all kinds of different exhibits, and also the craft artisans that were actually making different pieces there. It was so cool to see, because of course China is so famous for like pottery and gold work and woodwork. It's absolutely incredible. But now, since we are about half day and have a few more hours of daylight left, I wanted to take you guys to Shamian Island, which is supposed to be a bit of a melting pot of some colonial architecture here in Guangzhou, because this was a major, is a major trading port for China. So a lot of foreigners actually would come here for that reason, and this island was kind of where they would all meet up. Well, this certainly feels different than the other parts of Guangzhou that I have been to before. It is supposed to be like a little taste of Europe mixed with a Chinese influence, even down to the cobblestone streets that we have here. Lots of kind of European-esque statues, and yeah, some pretty grand colonial architecture. Very interesting. I can give you guys one tip: do not try and take public transport during rush hour here in Guangzhou, and I imagine most Chinese cities. It is nuts. Please take good care of your children and belongings. When you take the escalator, please stand nicely. We are on Beijing Lu pedestrian road, and as you guys can see, this is a busy district. It's only gonna get busier as the night goes on because it is Friday night tonight. I'm sure everybody's gonna be relaxing before the weekend, and considering that the city has a population of like 15 million people, I think it is going to be a lot. My initial plans for tonight was actually to go up Canton tower, the most famous tower in the city. But unfortunately, just with the weather, the way things have been, the visibility is not great and it's not exactly cheap. $20 or $30 for the basic observatory. And if you really want to do the coolest thing they have, there's like a pod. There's these like globes that go around the circumference of the top that I wanted to do, and that's like $60. So with the visibility not being great, I think I'm gonna leave that for another visit, because I definitely see myself coming back to Guangzhou. There is a lot to do here, so for sure, if you're coming here and it's good visibility, definitely go up the tower. But for me, I think I'm just gonna enjoy these very busy shopping districts. Now, an absolute must when traveling to Guangzhou is trying the local specialties, which is known as Cantonese cuisine. I decided to go with the safe bet, which is like a ginger beef dish. That's what the translator said, but maybe, I don't know, there's something else there that I'm not aware of, but I knew that this is something that I will for sure like and eat. But this is something new for me, where it is like a clam vermicelli, and this actually wasn't in the title of the dish, but I think this is some kind of like umi. Is this maybe umi? But yeah, this is different. I'm not sure if I'll like it. We're gonna have to try it. But clam vermicelli and some kind of other seafood. All right, I just googled it. It's uni, not umi, but uni, which is sea urchin. And I did try it once in Japan. I wasn't the biggest fan, but maybe I'll like it now. Actually, let's try with the safe bet. Let's try the safe bet first. That's really flavorful, like really nice, tender beef, crunchy vegetables, like is good. I knew it was going to be good, and it was. Let me try and get a bite of everything all at once. Okay, I'm not doing well at getting everything, so let's just try the clam and the vermicelli first. And you know what? Let's try the uni. Not bad. You know, a bit of a, what's the word? Well, clammy taste. But yeah, here in Guangzhou, they are really known for Cantonese cuisine. The only issue that I've kind of come across and that I haven't really found how to fix yet is that because Google Maps doesn't really work here, it's quite hard to search for restaurants. Like, I know China has their own version of Google Maps, but the translation from what I experienced doesn't really work to English. So the only way that I really find, restaurants is just by walking around and seeing what looks good. But once again, I just got to China, so maybe there is a workaround that I'm not aware of. Please let me know in the comments if there is, because it would be really nice to be able to look up restaurants in English ahead of time, read reviews, and see what's good. Well, friends, to end off this video, I want to give you my first impressions of Guangzhou, but also China, because of course this is in somebody's picture, because this is my first time in China as well. If you saw my vlog of what it was like coming here, of course you could tell that I was a bit stressed. Things were a bit different than I was expecting. This isn't the type of destination you can just decide to, travel to tomorrow unless you are, for whatever reason, visa free for China. There are a lot of things you need to consider and have before you go. But if you do that, more or less, it's pretty streamlined. Especially with the language barrier, I was expecting things to be a bit more complicated or have more issues, but honestly, like Alipay being the biggest thing, if you have that all linked up, like that just solves a lot of problems. If you have a good eSIM that, works right away, you have data and, know how to get around. Outside of those basics, of course, it's going to be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're coming from a place like, I don't know, small town Saskatchewan, right? And if you haven't seen a mega city of like 15 million people and how things work here, it's going to be a lot. The people, even though I haven't been able to communicate directly with everyone, have overall been really friendly and welcoming and, of course, curious because, like I said, there's not a lot of foreigners here and you are a bit of an anomaly. And then lastly, as far as safety, especially if you're a solo female traveler, I'll give you more of my experience as my time here goes on. But so far, I do feel super at ease here. Like I literally, don't get any weird vibes, and especially with the fact that there are cameras everywhere, like it's much less likely that anybody would try something, because I'm pretty sure they would catch you like real fast if you were doing something that you weren't supposed to do. And just from the other blogs that I've read, I think China is a very safe destination and has been for a very long time. So if you have traveled here, please let us know in the comments what your experience was. But yeah, to summarize, I would definitely come back to Guangzhou. I feel like on my 5th day, I was just getting the hang of things and figuring out how things work, and now I'm going to leave. With these kinds of places, you definitely need more time, but even in a few days, you can get the highlight reel of it all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I will be heading out tomorrow on a high-speed train to the mountains, to some of the most stunning nature and scenery in China from my understanding. So I am very excited. As always, I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope you're having a fantastic day and keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye guys.